What's up, everybody? I'm boy Coach T with Chicago Bears 360. Back with another live one, a hot one for y'all today. We got your boy Herb Howard on the show. Always excited to talk to my guy and speak with my guy Herb Howard. Y'all know him from the bigs. He's made appearances on NBC Sports Chicago, WGN Chicago, CHGO, much more. Listen, I always love talking ball, talking culture, talking life in general, talking the industry. We're going to get into it and so much more. Y'all know what's next, man. We got to cue the intro, maestro. Let's go. Contra.
Life like chess, move to pieces, you know I roll in silence. On the road to them Benjis, I fill my teeth with diamonds. I'm high as fuck in the sky, you would've thought I'm pilot. I'm from Chicago, it get ugly, fill the streets with violence. Life like chess, move to pieces, you know I roll in silence.
Past, present, future. We bear down.
Just like that, we're back. Chicago Bears 360 with my boy Herb Howard in the building. What's up, my man?
Coach T, what's good, man? How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good, bro. Lovely to have you. Man, I don't
That
know.
fade can't get no fresher, can it?
Bro, the fade?
It can't get no crispier than that, can it?
I mean, that's an ATL special, man. That's how we get down here, man. My barber was like, bro, where you been? Are you cheating on me, dog, or what? So I had to slide.
You know we don't be cheating on our barbers. We more loyal to our barbers than anything.
Right. He was on like gang stuff. He hit me up like, bro, what happened? I was like, man, I had to go down to Mobile, right? I had to leave straight from work during the day, slide to Mobile for the Senior Bowl. I ain't have like I'm like he was checking me like he, you know what I'm saying, like my wife would. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I slid or something. So yeah, shout out to my barber, my man Rail in the ATL area. If you're ever in the area, man, gotta hook my boy up and give him some shots on the show. What's up, man? What's been up with you, man? Bruh, it's been like over a year, man.
It's been a minute, man. It's been a minute, but you know, it's been it's a lot of Bear stuff. You know, back-to-back years was #1 pick. A lot of exciting news throughout the course of the season, some ups and some downs, and then you enter another huge offseason this year. So, right when the season was over, there was still a whole lot of news whether or not they would be making coaching changes or what coaching changes they would be making. And now, talking about all the Caleb and Justin stuff. I've past week or so, I've kind of just taken a step back to just kind of regroup, just gather myself, get away from it for a little bit. But it's time to get right back into it.
Man, it's a lot. Admittedly, it's a lot. Like you take on and you talk about discussing all that stuff that happened during the season since we spoke last night. It was an up and down season. Started out slow, then we got going towards well, let me not skip over anything. It was a slow start, and then all the Tyson Bagent craziness that broke off in the middle of the season when we had Bagent mania, and then we had this kind of like steady, I would say trending towards the end of the season, where we did with, so much uncertainty around the head coaching position. Luke Gessie gets fired and so much more, bro. And now that we're here, they hired a new staff, all that good stuff, man. But I want to take a step back before we jump into the football stuff because, Hurt was on the show last year and you said something, bro, I don't agree with.
Okay.
I got smoke for you already.
All right, let's go. What's up?
You said something I don't agree with. You was on the show last week and you said something. You said something that stuck with me. And I'm gonna fight you tooth and nail about this because I think a lot of times we don't see how people see us and what we mean to people until somebody is speaking over our bodies and we going on to glory. And you said something, man, that stuck with me. It just didn't sit right in my spirit. So I got to get it corrected. You said that when talking about the industry, talking about your career, man, and your path, you said like, hey, man, like I'm not an exceptional Negro or something like that. And I don't know if that's a direct quote, but it set my spirit. And I was like, man, like, Herb, bro, do me a favor. This is me giving you a clout. This is a who does that on TV or podcast? They give people
Drink champs. Give me your flowers.
Drink champs. Here we go, man. Drink champs. Give me your flowers, bro. You don't know what you mean to us that's in the industry, that's thinking about being in the industry, whatever the case may be, that's aspiring to it. Last year, I was just a former coach, bro, thinking about just having fun with DIY media and all this other stuff, man.
Right.
And I heard Howard came on my show. I got us in the beat room, talking to the coaches, talking to the players. It's, obviously you look like me. So,
right.
And I'm finna be 50 next year, 2020. Yeah, next year. So imagine if that was a young bull, you know what I'm saying? And I'm saying, like, now you gotta go to the top with it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, step into it, own it. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm gonna push back on you too, because it's really a perspective type thing. It's conceptually speaking, I'm saying, like, don't get me wrong, I know I'm good at what I do, right? But I'm saying when I walk into these spaces, I don't want these rooms full of mostly white men to look like, oh, he must just be some exceptional Negro. And I'm saying, no, I'm not. I do this job exceptionally well. I get that part. But I'm not no special dude. I just happen to, navigate this way and get a couple breaks and end up with that kind of access. But I don't want them to look at me like, oh, he's special. I'm from 71st Jeffrey on the south side of Chicago. Right. Like that's who I am. And I'm not different from all the other dudes that's from 71st and Jeffrey on the south side of Chicago. So that's when I say I'm not exceptional. I mean, that's what I mean. Like, not that I don't do my job exceptionally well, not that I haven't earned my way into, some limited access places, but I don't want to be viewed like, oh, I must be different from all of the other Negroes. No, I'm not.
Okay. That's
you know what I mean?
No, because I wanted to package the message correctly. I want you to speak on it. We brothers, man.
Yeah.
So it's like, and the nature of where I born up there in Gary, but I was raised down here. So I'm Southwest. I'm SWAT's ATL Southwest side to my heart. Doug High School, stand up. You know what I'm saying? All the HBCU area, Martin Luther King, Adamsville, Allen Temple, stand up. You know what I'm saying? Like, to my heart. So it's for us culturally down here to be pioneering in certain industries and certain spaces. You know what I'm saying? I take that to heart, man. My I got to put on for my people at the end of the day, no matter what. So I got clarity. That was a message to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? That's messaging. That was a statement to everybody else, not the community.
Yeah, nobody gonna walk in those rooms and see, a white man and be like, oh, he must be exceptional. It's like, oh yeah, whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm saying the same thing about me. I wear Jordans, I wear hoodies, I got tattoos, I talk a certain way, I walk a certain way. You know what I mean? And I do it intentionally, even more so when I'm in those spaces, to show up in that authentic way. So I'm not, overly code switching, or I'm not, trying to conform to this type of environment or this type of expectation for what, man. Nah, I'm showing up as I show up. So that's what I mean on that part.
I totally.
I'm glad you wanted to clarify that, because it may have been misconstrued for some other people too. So yeah, that's what I mean with that.
And listen, my wife she talks about this all the time. She's like, you carry an elephant gun. You don't believe in elephants in the room. No, absolutely not. I walk with a big stick and carry an elephant gun everywhere I go. Everything will always be clear with me. You'll never have to understand trying to figure out where you are with Coach T. I just don't rock like that. I'm a Cancer to my heart. Wear my heart on my sleeve. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes the smoke stay on lock. Anyway, I appreciate you clarifying that, because what I was trying to get to with that is I look up to you, even as an almost 50-year-old man in this industry, understanding where I come from, military background, coaching, and now a quote unquote executive in the corporate spaces. So I know all about showing up as your authentic self, having the code switch, you know what I'm saying? I'm usually always the only one that looks like me in the room too. Now, football and DIY media allows me a different a branding. It allows me a space to be my authentic self. So I kind of come with the same philosophy as well, where when I'm doing this, right? I'm not in the office. I'm gonna do this how I do it. I'm gonna say it how I feel it, and it's going, you know what I'm saying? Now my wife said you need to do better with the cussing and all that stuff. But anyway, I just want to let you know, man, I appreciate what you do. I appreciate having your voice in that room, because it is it's unmistakable, right? Your voice is a signature in that room. Somebody actually tweeted that as we were doing kind of promo for you and I being on the show together. They were like, man, Herb's voice in the room. He always asks great questions and set up. So we're gonna get in a little bit of this media game because I got a whole bunch of stuff for you today because you ain't seen your boy in like a year.
I
So
appreciate that, man. I received that and I appreciate it, brother.
yeah, man, we gonna always, and then also, man, special shout out to Mom Dukes too, man. She follows me. She always likes my stuff, man, and I appreciate. Man, listen, I appreciate Mom Duke. Shout out to you out there. You did a great job with this, dude. You did a great job. Shout out to moms out there.
She dope. She's super dope.
Let's talk about the media game, man. Because before I get into Justin Fields and all this other stuff that it's going to be the typical talk show stuff or sports Chicago Bears, I got to get into this media game because as I get closer to Hallis Hall, some things are starting to unveil themselves for me. You know what I'm saying? The channel doing all right. You know what I'm saying? The brother got a little shine now. You know what I'm saying? Especially coming off of the interview I just did.
Salute.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? Like talk to me, bro, because I'm starting to see a lot of dirty work, if you will. It's not all dirty work, but I'm starting to see a little bit of stuff that, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man, what are we doing? Like, is it really like, are we boxing out, you know what I'm saying, in the paint, you know what I'm saying, to get an interview, whatever it may be? Like, is it that like competitive out there? Is it just me? Because sometimes I'd be like, all right, maybe you just being overly sensitive in this situation. Like, what's going on, bro?
I mean, I definitely think it's competitive. I think now in an age where all you need is a camera phone, and you got the potential to have as big a voice as anybody else. And so I think that a lot of people start to do things that maybe they normally wouldn't do to try and position themselves to kind of amplify their voice or get into certain spaces. And to a certain degree, I understand it, but to a greater extent, I don't pay attention to it. Right? I get the competition of it, but I don't really pay attention to it like that. I really, really don't, man. I just my thing is just stay low, keep firing, man. That's it.
Right.
And when the opportunity presents itself for you to kick down another door, just make sure you're ready. That's it. And the only thing you can do to make sure you're ready is to stay consistent, stay on top of what you need to do, and just do what you love, do what you're passionate about. You know what I mean? I would talk about the Bears every single day if I wasn't on the beat. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I did that way before I got to the beat. That's how I got on the beat. And so when that opportunity came for me, uh, just to be in those spaces and around, just my natural way of talking about the game of football, and specifically about the Bears, opened up a door. And I haven't looked back since walking through it. So I get the competition part of it. I see some of the snake moves or whatever, but I don't really concern myself with it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like this stuff, it'd be funny to me for real, for real. Like you talk about like Twitter and like Twitter beef and all that. It's like her beefing with this person, her got beef with, like, I'm from the South Side of Chicago. I don't have beef with nobody on Twitter. Okay, like this not real.
That ain't
You know what I'm
deep
saying?
where we from. That ain't deep where we from, bro.
That's not real
What
to
is
me. You know what I'm saying?
what is? Let's remix Biggie's song, bro. What is Twitter
Right?
beef?
What's beef?
What's
like,
beef? You know
like
what I'm saying?
that's
What's
not
Twitter beef?
that's not real to me. So that stuff is always funny to me. I've had a couple interactions with some reporters that they wanted to iron some things out or make sure we was on the same. I'm like, I didn't think twice about that. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like that didn't register as anything. It didn't register. Like you know what I mean? It's not
It didn't come
sport.
up on my
We're talking about
radar.
football.
So yeah.
Yeah, like
It's sure. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Yeah, I think you make a great point there too, because sometimes things that don't register on your radar, it's more work to chase the quote unquote correcting of it when the issue was only on one side. It wasn't even on my side. So we good. Just, you know what I'm saying? I think it's good to talk about because, you know what I'm saying? Again, I spoke about how you know what I'm saying? I look to you as one of those people that, you know, hey, this is somebody I should mimic that's doing it. You always look for somebody that's doing what you're doing to mimic it. I'm like, okay, I gotta have a talk in this case with big little bro about, you know what I'm saying, the distraction. And
Yeah.
you know, to your point, that's how I've dealt with it so far myself. I'm just like, okay, and the cancer in me is, okay, I'm not gonna respond with words, I'm gonna respond with work. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna work harder. I'm gonna get better equipment. I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna do better thumbnails. I'm gonna do better videos. I'm gonna do better interviews. Like I'm gonna keep hitting you in the head across the head with content to the point where you get tired of seeing me until you ain't got no choice but to cross over and be like, all right, bro, you know what I'm saying? Come on.
Yeah, I think in this day and age of social media, um, that that's to include YouTube and Twitter and stuff. Like in this age of that, you get so many different opinions, and I think our human nature is to want to clap back at
Right,
people for the negative things,
right.
and the negative things. And sometimes I got time for it. Like I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I'm like, I got time today. I'm on this with
Oh,
you today. You know what
you
I
let
mean?
a bomb go that I got on your head about a little bit. I didn't get on your head about it, but I had to make sure I hopped on who the fuck is Brad Urlacher? Bro,
Right.
that was epic, man. I'm
Some
just
some some sometimes I got time today. You know what I mean? And most of
yeah,
the time I don't. But
yeah,
in comparison to the positive comments and the love and the support, the negativity is so minuscule, man. It's so minute. And so if I got time, if I feel like playing, I'll go ahead and play. But for the most part, I just focus on the love and the support and just focus on the work. You know what I mean? And people gonna feel how they feel about it. And if people appreciate it and people, gravitate towards it, that's wonderful. I receive it, I appreciate it, and I promise you, I reciprocate that love right back. Like, but the negativity, whatever. Like sometimes we give it more attention than it needs. So that's what I try to do. But sometimes I'll be like, all right, cool. I got
I
time for
just
your
want to,
bullshit
yeah,
today.
I
Let's
just want, I
let's
want to
let's
play
talk
today.
about it.
I want to troll. I want to play today. I want to troll. I get
Yeah,
it, and you made a great point. Like again, that's my coping mechanism. My coping mechanism is to work harder, become hyper focused, to use all of my resources and just work harder. Now, I've almost at this age conditioned myself to say where I feel resistance is the sign. It's the sign of where I'm supposed to go. That it's a sign that I'm on the right mark. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So, you know what I'm saying? Let me get a devil a black eye by working harder and pushing myself in this space. Let me ask you a question. What advice would you give, you know what I'm saying, somebody that's looking to do this? Because we gotta, like, people recognize you from being on, CHGO, NBC Sports
Sure.
Chicago, but they don't know it's the bigs. Let's not get it twisted, right? It's the bigs. It's how we're reporting for the bigs and all this other stuff. And the bigs is I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to diminish what the bigs does, but the bigs, you guys didn't go the traditional route. So what advice would you give somebody that's looking to do this? I'm trying to help the community, like, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, there's opportunities out there.
Yeah. No, I rep the set all the time, and I rep the bigs, to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? And so, shout out to the founders, that's Terrence Tomlin and Eugene McIntosh. They put a lot of groundwork into this. They grinded and grinded and grinded, and they did go that traditional route in terms of sports journalism and writing for smaller publications and things like that. And then they just decided, and we're gonna rock this thing out on our own. And so
Right.
shout out to the work that they did. They had laid down years of work, years of a foundation before I joined the team. And so, it's really about the foundation that they were able to lay, which then allow me to just come in and hit that Bears beat kind of running and, making it my own. And they gave me the space and the creative freedom to make it my own and cover the team the way, I want to cover the team. And so they give me all the support and resources I need. And it's very collaborative. We talk through everything we do. But at the end of the day, they let me kind of rock out how I want. And so what I would advise anybody to do, again, is what I was saying earlier, man, just stay ready. Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. And, I've been ready for this. I've been preparing for this way before I knew I was preparing for this. See,
Right.
I used to write down the draft every year as a shorty. Like I would sit down. That's when it used to come on Saturday morning, right? It used to start on
Mm-hmm.
Saturdays. And I would watch it Saturday and Sunday, and I would write down every single pick, which player, what school they went to, what team they went to. And I still got that notebook somewhere of just years and years of drafts. And I'll have to be 7, 8, you know what I
Wow.
mean? Just doing this. And so football was the very first thing I loved. It was the very first thing I was like, that's amazing. Like if I could do that all the time, that's what I want to do. And so, um, my physical ability took me as far as it could, or as far as I allowed it to take me. And then I was fortunate enough to continue to feed my hunger and love for the game. And so I stayed into it, and I would do my own reporting on the Bears, just consuming every piece of content I could consume. I would read so many different articles and watch all the videos and watch all the press conferences. And so by the time I encountered the Bigs, they were so impressed by my knowledge of the game, with my ability to communicate what I
Right.
was thinking about the game. And they were like, "Yo, what would you think about?" So I think that was during the COVID season, and so we started to do a pregame show. I think we called it the kickoff kickback, and we would
Mm-hmm.
just kind of go through the NFL schedule, pick our games, talk about the Bears. And so as that kind of rounded up, they were like, "Yeah, what would you think about covering the Bears for us?" And I was like, "Yo, that's nuts. Like, don't mention that to me if y'all not
Yeah, yeah.
for
Don't
real.
bring it up,
They
man.
were
Don't
for
bring it up.
real, and we got all the particulars worked out, and before training camp that next season, the Bears sent over all my credentials, and like I said, I haven't looked back since. So I would just say, man, if there's something you're passionate about, just keep on rocking, because you have no idea, when that chance encounter is going to come to open that door for you. And so, it's a lot of different ways to enter the market these days. You certainly
Mm-hmm.
still go, traditional route, but there are a lot of other ways to be able to do it. So I'll just say, man, stay ready so you ain't got to get ready.
That's what's up, man. We got Herb Howard on Chicago Bears 360 with Coach T. Do me a favor. If you're coming in, you watch this on the playback, listen, like the video, subscribe to the channel, man. We got you locked in. We tapped in the Chicago Bears all around, bro. We got beat writers, we got players, we got coaches, we got all of it coming through. Listen, I'm a little bit closer to Howard Hall than I was last year. So I'm telling y'all, it's coming. Stay locked in. Herb, man, you talked about being prepared for the gig, for the job.
Yeah.
One of the things I recognize in your technique, right, but with question asking, you have this way of taking a question or a subject matter in the beat room that might be a little bit confrontational, right? And I'm gonna give you an
Sure.
example of what I observed, right? It might be kind of confrontational, um, and formulating the question in a way that is non-threatening to the coach or player at the podium, and it just doesn't, jack up the vibe of the room, right? And I'll give you an example. One
Right.
of the critiques is you always, and I want you to give me a few more of these that you use. You probably not recognize you do it, or we see you do it, or I see you do it. But
Uh-huh.
here's an example. You'll lead a question with, well, how do you resolve X and Z, right? And I might not have the exact phrasing of it right,
Sure.
but there might be, I'll give you an example. And it's probably a terrible example, but Luke Getsy, how do you resolve the responsibility of, doing this and doing that? It's really like, hey, it's really like sending a message like, bro, the fuck you on? Like, what is you thinking right
Right.
there? But I hear
Right.
what you're saying, but you don't package it that way. So
Right.
what, give package that one the right way how you do it, but also give me a couple more that you do that you know what I'm saying? It's a Herb Howard thing to me.
So I I want to be disarming with the way I ask a question, right? I
Right.
want to disarm the person. It's kind of natural to sit at a podium in a press conference in front of a room full of people just throwing questions at you, and it's natural to just be on guard, to be defensive. And I want to disarm them with that. I don't want you to view this as a confrontational exchange, right? I have a ton of respect for every single one of those people, right? Whether I think, they're, really good at the NFL level. You got to the NFL, you are a really, really, really good football player. You got to the NFL, you are a really, really good football coach. Now there are levels to it, but at all, whatever level, I respect the fact that they're there. So that's number one. I got a ton of respect for all of those dudes. Even might like, oh, you a bum. I mean NFL bum. I don't mean you a bum for real. You one of the best. Like you the best football player from your high school, probably from your neighborhood. You know what I mean? So that's number one. I got a ton of respect for what they do, and so I don't want it to ever be confrontational. The fact of the matter is, sometimes we have to ask questions that aren't very easy to answer, or people don't necessarily want to answer. Right? Sometimes we got good questions that they can't wait to answer. Like, man, you had 238 yards, and you know what I'm saying? Like, they can't wait to answer that. But sometimes you might have.
I lost sound on you. I lost sound.
You want to do that.
You back.
You got me. You want to be able to do that in a way that is disarming. And so, I just, I try to lead with respect and then be disarming. I try as much as I can. I try to call people by name, right? I very rarely call the coaches by their first name. I usually, it's coach. You know what I mean? Or I might, say coach and their last name. So it's a respect thing, man. But I also just have this disarming ability. And I think that also comes from understanding what real confrontation is, right? I'm not here to have a real confrontation with a football coach or a football player.
Right.
That's not real to me, right? What's real to me was the conversations I had, growing up. You know what I'm saying? Those are real conversations. And so this is not, I'm not trying to have this shouting match with you, right? And so that allows me to be very disarming and respectful in the way that I present my questions. And I think they also appreciate my level of knowledge and understanding of the game. I think I speak the language of football, and people who speak football, they can hear it, that you also speak that language. And then, I think there's a level of respect and appreciation that they have for that as well.
I see. I want y'all to record something. The 360 is out there. I want y'all to recognize what's actually going on. Y'all think an interview is going on right now, but I'm actually stealing pointers. I got a pen right now. I'm breaking out. I'm taking class right now. This because listen, you know where, or you have an idea where you want to go. You see people doing it. There's nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying, with taking notes. Like I watch anyway. I study the game, or I study your game anyway. And like I said, you know what I'm saying, the disarming questions. How do you resolve this? One of the greatest exchange I've seen in Bears media beat room history was the exchange between you and Coach Hope about Jalen Johnson, right? And
my God, that was so good.
People, I don't know if people picked up on it or not from again being new to this, and like that made me actually interested in the gamemanship of beat writing, question asking, exchange, because the way you formulated the question, it all speaks to what you just said right now. There's a respect level when you have a knowledge of the game, and Coach Hope just put on like a master class of DB play and broke it down at the podium because of the question you asked. Like, hey, I'm not traveling them because of this. It's giving away coverages. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, bro,
he's asking me questions back in the middle of it. He's like, so if they send them in motion and we don't move, what that tell you? Like, that tell you me we win zone. If we do move, tell me amen. So you're giving away these clues. So like we able to have these football conversations. You know what I mean? More so than this interview.
Yeah, and exactly. That's a great point, and it's a great segue into probably something I want to say and ask at the same time, because one thing that I discovered down in Mobile at the Senior Bowl, I probably spoke to Kerry Joseph for about a collective over 2 days, probably maybe I want to say 2.5, maybe 3 hours, right? And of course, I sent out the tweet that went super viral, and it's interesting conversation. with Kerry Joseph. Went super viral. Everybody making assumptions about this, that, and the other. And to your point that you just made, listen, when you know ball and you coach ball, you know X's and O's, you know schematics. I don't have to ask him about Justin Fields. I don't have to ask him about certain things. All we have to do is be two coaches talking ball, and inadvertently, he'll tell me everything I want to know anyway. I don't have to directly come out to him and say, hey, you know what I'm saying? So what are we doing with Justin Fields? You know what I'm saying? Are we going to draft Caleb Williams? All I got to do is talk ball. You know what I'm saying? And over the conversations, I have a perspective from that conversation. I ain't telling nobody else, but I got a perspective. But my question to you is this: what's the conflict between when you do have those conversations with somebody like that and you have a perspective based off of the conversation you had with them, and you come away from the conversation genuinely liking the person? Like, you like, hey man,
Yeah.
this is a solid dude, but me doing my job might get him in some kind of trouble, or you know what I'm saying? Like if I say too much,
Yeah.
like where do you go with that?
All right, I'm gonna get to that in 1 second. I want to go back to one thing with this John Hope thing, right? In
Okay,
terms
okay.
of this question asking, right? I think that there's a subtle difference between me saying, "Why don't you try with Jalen Johnson?"
Right. Okay.
versus me saying, "What goes into the thought process or the decision making process to determine when you are or are not going to travel with Jalen Johnson?"
That's
You
one of
see
your
what I'm saying?
intros right there. I hope y'all caught that. I'm writing it down. That was one of your intros. What goes, you do that a lot. What goes into the thought process of? I just want to
Yeah,
catch
because like otherwise it immediately comes off as you're doing the wrong thing. I just like, why don't you do this? Now it sounds like you like I already determined you're doing the wrong thing. And I don't know, right? I'm not trying to have this conversation like I know so much better than you. Tell me,
right.
tell me how you derived how you arrived at the decision that you arrived at. You know what I mean? So that's just the last little piece on that. But in terms of having these interactions with these people, um, we're not friends, but we can be very friendly, right?
Right.
Um, and even in us being friendly, I still got a job to do. You know what I mean? You still got a job to do. And so it's
Right.
like they can be like, okay, I might be a player, I might be a coach, and I'm friendly with her, but I still ain't telling her everything. You know what I mean? I still
Hold on, we lost sound again. We lose
I
sound.
still have to
Okay.
really.
It just blanked out a little bit. All right.
Am
You
I getting ahead of it or something? It's like, am I like we can be friendly, but I still have a job to do. I still have to cover your performance objectively, right? And
right.
so, you know, I like Matt Nagy a lot. Like super cool dude, super nice, very thoughtful. You know what I mean? Would come into the media room impromptu and just say, "Hey, this what was going on with that. Sorry about this misunderstanding." You know, like real. I like the dude.
Mm-hmm.
That don't mean like not gonna say like, yeah, this ain't working. Like we probably need to make another move, right? And so I think it's a natural balance, but I think that again, you lead with respect, right? And then people come to understand you, right? People come to understand who you are and how you present. And so the players that have been in that locker room for the full 3 seasons that I've been there, or even just a couple of them, they know Herb not really on bullshit with me. You know what I mean? Like he may ask me a tough question, right?
Right.
Because sometimes that's just necessary. But he's
Mhm.
not really trying to come at me like that. That's not who
Right.
I am.
Right.
Um, whereas there are some people that are coming at you, right? There's some of that. I remember having an interaction with Tremaine Edmonds this year, and it was his first year. He doesn't know me,
Mm-hmm.
um, and so he's just like he's got that natural player to reporter thing up, that kind of gate up.
Mm-hmm.
And what had happened was um Yannick had his injury and went down for the year.
Mm-hmm.
And on the play, Tremaine hit him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how he got hurt. Those two dudes collided and he got hurt like that.
All right.
And so I come in the locker room. This was, and we had just found, like in the meeting room, we had just realized how Yannick got hurt, right? Because they told us that he was hurt after the season. So we started to go back through all the plays, like when did he get hurt? How did he get hurt? And then we saw the plays, like, oh snap. So I'm going to the locker room, and Tremaine is talking about. He's like, man, they said it was my. I was like, yeah, you just found out about that friendly fire. And he was like, yeah, they said that happened. He's like, I don't know that it happened. I was like, let me show you, right? And because we had just looked it up, I had to play it on my phone, so I just showed it to him. Like, here, this is the play right here. Just watch it. And so he watched it, and he was like, oh damn, I didn't know because he was like at first he didn't see it. And I was like, no, it's you right there, right?
Mhm.
He kind of took it like I was like blaming him for something. And
Right.
wait, are you recording me? I'm like, nah, bro, I would never do nothing like that. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that's not what I'm on. I'm not like I'm like talk to anybody that's been here in my time here. I ain't coming like that, bro. And
Right.
it's football. You ain't doing nothing wrong. You ran to the ball to make the
You did
tackle.
your job. You're
Come
doing your
another
job.
way. Like it just is what it is. But I'm saying once you're able to develop a relationship with them, not a friendship, just a working relationship with them, they come to understand that okay, this dude, he not really coming at me with no malicious intent.
Yeah.
And you know, until they know that, then they're gonna be defensive in that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I think with the situation or scenario I pointed out to you, I know you're busy, bro. But at that moment, I was so divided about what to do with the perspective that I had coming out of those conversations because I'm like, the people want to know. They might, what I'm saying. Here's kind of the tiers of it. The people want to know. You know what I'm saying? People want to know. People were asking in the comments of the photo, hey, what you know what I'm saying? What do he say? What do he say? I know y'all asked. I know you
Yeah.
asked. That was one part of it. The part of it is, man, dude just got here. I'm not trying to put him in a situation where he gonna get no smoke from the front office, right?
Right.
The other part is, um, like the business side of me, you know what I'm saying, the Willie T side of me, the person my daddy raised is I'm a businessman, and I'm gonna leverage this, you know what I'm saying, information of what I think or the perspective. Again, nothing was said directly,
So,
hey, we're doing this, but you put the context clues together. For me, I'm leverage this to my advantage. So I was conflicted. I said, man, let me reach out to her in this situation, and then I let it
yeah,
die
I
down.
think that my bad.
No, go ahead.
I think that so I sometimes I do a thing called what they said and what I heard. You know what I
Right,
mean? And those would be two different things sometimes, right? I heard what they said, right? But this is what I heard when you said it. And sometimes I do a piece like that where I'll take, 3 to 5 quotes from any given press conference and say, well, this is what he said, and this is what I heard when he said it.
right,
Um, and I think that's cool, right? I think that's cool. I think that's fair game. I think we all try to read between the lines of what they're saying. There's this kind of natural opposition that happens between reporters and teams, right? They are professional fact hiders. We are professional fact finders. And it doesn't have to be contentious, don't have to be disrespectful, but they don't want you to know everything that's going on inside Hallis Hall. And we are
right,
trying to find out as much as we possibly can about what's going on inside Hallis Hall. And so you kind of got to read the tea leaves a little bit, read between the lines to see, am I picking up what they putting down or not? And sometimes you're right, sometimes you might be wrong. Another thing I do, this is a little bit different from what I just said, but I'm not always interviewing them, right? I'm not always, and I don't even mean like we said earlier, we're just talking ball. I'm not always on the record with them, right?
right,
Like we're in the locker room, several times a week. I'm rarely on the record with them in the locker room, like
right,
rarely. I spend a lot of time talking to them in the locker room, though,
right,
right? And so through that, we get to develop a relationship to where I get to know you a little bit, you get to know me a little bit, and then now we just be kind of cool, right?
right,
And through that, when I do need to know something,
Right.
you'll tell me.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you know I'm not trying to get every little thing you say on record. It's their locker room. You know what I mean? It's like somebody
Mhm.
coming to your bedroom and then telling everything they heard here. Like,
Right.
nah. Like, if you come to me, so if I'm on record in the locker room, I'll tell them like, yo, I want to ask you this on the record, right?
Gotcha.
That's just me, right? Now, some people say, well, they know what we're here for, right? Anything you said was on record. And that's cool if that's how you want to play it. I don't want to play it like that, right?
Yeah.
I don't find everything that they say in there worthy or necessary to come out publicly like that, right?
Right.
Sometimes we're just having a conversation, and if we can't ever get to that space, there's never going to be a time where Jalen Johnson will be like, man, Herb, this happened. You know what I mean? Or Eddie
Yeah.
Jackson be like, man, this what went wrong right here, right? This
Yeah.
who fucked up on this, right? And
Mhm.
so if he thought every time he said something like that to me, I was gonna go write a column or make a
That
video,
wall up. Yeah.
he wouldn't.
Okay. No,
Yeah,
that's again. I hope y'all hearing this is a master class. To me, it's a master class on how to conduct yourself in the beat room, how to conduct yourself in the locker room. Of course, I haven't done it on the NFL level, but the things that you're talking about, as far as the sacredness of the locker room, hold true. I don't care what level you on, right? There's certain things that happen
yeah,
in that locker room should not be discussed outside that locker room. It's sacred. And the moment you violate, you know what I'm saying, you might as well, you know what I'm saying, you might as well roll the wrong colors in the wrong neighborhood in South Central. That's how it really much boils
for real.
down to. So, yeah, no, that was a personal challenge. That was my first, that was probably my first and biggest, if you will, professional challenge, when conflict, if you will, because I could have been like on Twitter and come on my own program, but like, this is what I thought, blah 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 blah, and it probably would have went super viral because everybody's thirsty for information right now. But I said, nah, you know what I'm saying? What I think, I'm a hold for the appropriate time. You know what I'm saying? And I still don't know when I'm gonna say something about those particular conversations, but I'm good with my final decision. I can sleep at night. You know what I'm saying? To hold what I think I know. But if you pay attention to the show, you know what I'm saying, little bits leak out here and there. But what I like about,
Yeah,
again, the if you tap into the show, it's gonna leak out a little bit here by there, you know, here and there. But again, what I like about the whole conversation was the authenticity. It was just two coaches talking ball, and we were talking schematics. And I'll say this: one question to comment about that conversation went something like this. Somebody else asked, "Hey, what Shane gonna bring to the table? What Shane looking to do? Run as far as scheme, run screen scheme." I don't know if it was exactly asked as run scheme, but what is he looking to do? Something to that nature. I'm paraphrasing. And I cut him off. I
right.
said, hold on, Kerry. I said, hold on. Because I've been saying this to my audience. So I want to make sure before you tell me if what I've been saying aligns based off of what I've seen on film. So I ran down my whole spiel. If you pay attention to the show, you'll know what I say about what Shane Waldron runs, right? And he nodded his head on some stuff, and he shook his head on other and corrected me in other places. So to me, that's two coaches talking ball. I don't have to talk about, hey, what are we doing with Justin? You see what I'm saying? There's so many other topics to talk about that, you know what I'm saying? That was like a coach's conversation. And like I said, you tap in, it's gonna leak out. But I had to check in with Big Lil Bruh to make sure I ain't violating no unwritten rules in the media game. That's what that was about. So thanks for setting me straight. I want to move on to this real fast because obviously I referenced it earlier. It was definitely a big moment. So I'm talking about big moments. A lot of big moments happened for me within the last 2 weeks in this media game. I'm not going to front like they weren't big moments for me and all this other stuff. I'm not going to front like I wasn't excited when it happened. I wasn't excited after it happened. It did what it did, and I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
I sent you something, and I asked you. Of course, last week I had the big interview with Quincy Avery on the show. You know what I'm saying, on last Thursday, a week ago today. Video on Twitter probably did about 50,000 views. collectively across the
Yes,
board.
sir.
Somebody was tallying up for me by all definitions. That quantifies as viral. Definitely, we approaching about 10,000 on YouTube. I sent you the video earlier, man. I said, big bro, I need you to critique my interviewing skills. This is my this. I just hopped off the porch. Give it to me. Give it to me down and dirty. Let the people know. You know what I'm saying? I need a quick critique, man.
So I got to keep it a buck. I haven't watched it yet, right? But what I expect it to be is very conversational.
Right.
That's how I found you just to be, right? Everything don't feel like this 21 questions thing, right? And
Right.
I feel
I know what
stylistically more conversational than an interview.
right. Yeah. Say that last part
Well,
again. Because
that's what I would expect it to be.
Say that last part again.
Yeah, I would expect it to. I would expect it to be more conversational than an interview because that's just kind of how you present. Now, certainly you lead the conversation, so you're going to ask the questions, but it doesn't have to be this 21 questions type thing. You know what I'm saying? It can be
Yeah.
conversational.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I probably prepared for that interview harder than I did others, but I didn't want to overthink it. I wanted to ask questions that I thought the audience would want to know, and I wanted to address some of the obvious misnomers. Mainly one about his level of interaction with Justin, because there is a rumor that he no longer works with Justin anymore. So we cleared that one up early. Obviously, Justin travels between Chicago, Georgia, and Florida. Everybody knows, or if you don't know, he's from Kennesaw, about 30 minutes from where I live now, but he trains in both Georgia and Florida. So Quincy's answer was, you know what I'm saying, when he's here, I got him. You know what I'm saying? When he's down in Florida, you know what I'm saying? He's with that trainer down there, or he'll call for me to come down there and I'll go down there. But we're locked in. So just so many things. And then obviously the usual tropes, hold the ball too long, all that stuff. He addressed all that stuff. And I thought it was, again, refreshing. But again, today I'm being selfish. You're critiquing me. This is big little bro, or little big bro in this industry, in this game. This is the opportunity to have a conversation out loud. And you know what I'm saying? Look, I'm not saying I don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? I've just hopped off the porch in this thing. Now we get a chance to get into some football stuff, man. Obviously,
Let me piggyback off that if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
And after this, I'm a hop out and hop back in so I can figure out what my sound thing is doing. But I wanted to piggyback off that because we talked about some of the negative stuff in terms of people moving a certain way in the industry. But I'll be remiss to not highlight the positive stuff for people and how they move in the industry, man. I've had a lot of support and people like, yo, if you need something, holler at me.
Shout them out, man.
Or just give me opportunities to do things, man. Huge shout out to Scoop Jackson, number one. Scoop has been a mentor to me my whole life. I grew up a few blocks from Scoop crib. I used to go by Scoop crib all the time, and he would just drop game on me. This was before I ever even knew that he worked at Slam magazine. He would just chop it up with me and my friends, and we was walking to school like, "What y'all doing, man? Y'all stay out of trouble," that kind of stuff. And I looked up to him because he was the only dude that I would see on my walk to school. That every day he was getting up, going to work, and he had a nice truck I liked. He was like a black Pathfinder or something like that. But anyway, as I got older and bumped into Scoop again, I reminded him about that. He was like, "Yeah, I remember y'all badass." And he was like, and he just always showed so much love, man. So I love Scoop Jackson. Shout out to him. Shout out to Lawrence.
Yeah, is it me?
Holmes. Lawrence Holmes is phenomenal. Shows so much love. He always shows so much love and support. Lawrence Holmes does. Greatly appreciate him. Jason Goff, another dude that always just show love and support. We bump into each other outside of Chicago sometimes.
I'm gonna pause you on Lawrence Holmes, man. Somebody mistake me for Lawrence Holmes, man. I just want to put out there, I look way better than Lauren Holmes. Don't do that. No, I'm saying I just had to put out. Hey, that's a handsome brother. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to put it. Somebody. It was somebody that. This is a troll moment for y'all, by the way. Somebody that called me a justice sexual. He mistaked me for Lawrence Holmes and said I was 670 to score. Get it right, man. Coach T fade game is way tighter than Lawrence Holmes. Anyway, you can continue. I'm sorry.
Shout out to Lawrence, man. Shout out to Jason Goff. Appreciate them, brothers. Huge shout out to Jason Leisure. Love Jason Leisure, man. We become great friends. When I first got on the beat, he was the first person to just, introduce himself to me. I knew who he was. I've been reading his work for a while before I got there. So he introduced himself to me and was very helpful and kind. And anything I needed, Jason was always there. And he continues to be. So just a few people that I just, appreciate the fact that they've, shown love to me, in my time through in this industry. I don't want to talk about people that move funny without talking about people who move
Absolutely.
amazingly and do a lot of looking out. So shout out to them. I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna jump out. I'm gonna jump right back in and see if this fixed my thing.
That's what's up. Yeah, we got plenty to discuss. Listen, this Chicago Bears 360 with your boy Coach T and Herb Howard. I know y'all want to get into the football stuff, but this is like my brother. You know what I'm saying? And when I have an opportunity to speak to him, whether live or in person, this is how we talk. So y'all getting access to, you know what I'm saying, probably a conversation that normally would happen over the phone or on the back end. But you know what I'm saying? Like I said, we both been busy this past year and haven't had the opportunity to discuss, you know what I'm saying, what's happened, what's transpired over the last year or so. So, like I said, if I have to selfishly take out some time, because you know what I'm saying, I want to be better for you guys. I want to be better for the audience that consumes my content. And you know what I'm saying, I want to work hard at this and I want to present well. And I want to push this thing as far as it will take, as far as you guys will support me doing. And again, what better way than when you have access to somebody that you feel like is doing it well or doing it to on a high level than to ask them directly themselves as you're doing it. So do me a favor, as you come into the comments, you're watching this on the playback, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tap in. Also, I want to let y'all know that we have our membership program open. The membership program is open. I'm trying to get to about 200. Well, I'm saying this, every 200 members of the highest level membership. I don't know what I'm calling that these days, but check it out. Every 200, I'm going to do a drawing for one of them things that's behind me, that PS5 y'all see back there next to Staley. Staley's holding up for me. Every 200, we're going to do one of those membership program. I think the highest membership is like, I don't know. It's up. It's not. It's decent. It's reasonable. So yeah, every 200 members, PS5 drawing up until y'all break me and I can't do it no more. So Herb's back in the building with us. Hopefully we got those audio issues fixed out, man. Herb, listen, man, a lot of noise on Twitter, X, all this other stuff on the heels of this conversation. I hyper sped it up so it doesn't go as slowly as the original interview. But you know what I'm saying? Kevin Warren had a lot to say about Justin Fields. I want to focus on that part and get your take on. I'm gonna play the video for you. Here we go.
What was your assessment of Justin Fields, his play this past season, and did he live up to expectations?
Yeah. I know from my standpoint, and I come to the table, I'm a supporter of Justin, because I got a chance to work with him when I was commissioner of the Big Ten Conference. He is incredibly talented. He is smart. He works hard, and he wants to be a great NFL football player. And so now he just needs to make sure that he has the support around him. He's working hard, and then I would love to see him, this offseason, make sure he's totally healthy going into the season next year. This is a difficult game, and if you think about professional sports, but let's talk about professional football, it's an incredibly difficult game. And then when you think about the quarterback position, it's difficult. And so and it's Justin has a rare combination of intelligence, of size, of strength, and speed. You forget how big of a man he is until you're up on him. He's not a small man. And so I just think every year he's going to continually get better. So I'm glad he's on the Chicago Bears.
So, of course, you know what I'm saying, the fandom, Bears fans everywhere, whether Twitter, X, Facebook, whatever social media platform, took Kevin Warren's interview with Jared Payton. Shout out to Jared Payton, by the way. Got to get you on the program.
Definitely shout out to JP. That's my homie, man. I love JP, man.
Yeah, I got JP. I caught JP in the spaces one day, and he was like, "Bro, who is this dude throwing these football stuff at me, throwing these schematics at me?" But yeah, of course, the world ran with Kevin Warren's statement on Justin Fields. He was poignant when he spoke on it. I want to get your perspective on what you think came out of that conversation. If anything we can take away from it. Everybody wants to know the decision, though. What does it mean to the decision?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I always love to hear Kevin Warren speak. He's so presidential when he speaks, man. I remember his opening at the season-ending press conference, a couple months ago or whenever it was. Just sitting there like, man, this dude is so presidential. The way he just commands the room when he's speaking, I believe him. You know what I mean? So I love to hear him talk in general. But I think that two things can be true, right? I think everything he said about Justin can be 100% true, and they can still make another decision. You know what I'm saying? And so I know this is the season where we try to infer something from everything that we hear from these people. And I do the same thing. I'm not saying I don't do it. I heard some things too, and I was like, ooh, it sounds like he wants Justin to come back if nothing else, right? Because
Right.
I'm pro Justin, so I want Justin to come back. So
Right.
hearing the president, speak so profoundly and highly of Justin was nice to hear, and I was like, ooh, maybe that means he coming back. But in my more rational thoughts, it don't necessarily mean that, right? But it don't mean he's lying either, right? He can't absolutely love Justin Fields and think he can be a really good player in this league and want to see him go through a full healthy season and all of those types of things, and that still may not happen here. So listening to it in the moment, very very excited. Having been away from it for a day or so, it's like, all right, maybe it didn't mean what I hope it meant, because I still hope it meant that, but maybe it didn't quite mean that. But it was still very very nice to hear him speak that way about Justin.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm a pro Justin, pro Justin platform as well. But you know what I'm saying? Like I always mention to everybody that loves to get in my comments and get rowdy. Listen, this platform is built off of the schematics and it's built off of football logic, how we understand things to happen in a locker room, how things are put together. I don't know if you've heard this tape, but it began for me when we kept Simo and Coach Dre, and how I understand offensive football teams to be built. We fired Lou Getsy, but we kept Simo and Coach Dre. And understanding, to me, in my offense, the offensive line coach is probably responsible for about 65, 70% of the offense. I'm talking about in helping us establish a run game philosophy,
Sure.
and the language and the communication, the call. He's responsible for all of that. And the fact that we said to me, and I think it's genius. I think if this is where we're going with this, I think it's genius on the part of Ryan Poles, who we're going to get to in a minute, and Ian Cunningham to say, hey, if I'm choosing to keep Justin and build with Justin, that what is the quickest path? What is the shortest learning curve to bringing in a new offensive system and coordinator? Oh yeah, let's keep the offensive line and tight end coach, right? To shorten the learning curve and keep by my estimation, about 65, 70% of the offense in place, and allow Shane Waldron to come in and slap his passing concept, shifts, motions, checks and all that stuff on top of it so we can get going as quickly as possible. That's probably the first time you had a chance to see that, hear my perspective on that, but I want to hear your response to that, and if it's crazy or if I'm crazy off, in that situation.
Nah, man, I agree with you, man. I think back to being a high school football coach, and we used to have our coaches meetings on Sunday evenings, and our O-line coach, big country white dude named Chris Bazell, love that dude. He was always so instrumental in the game plan that we wanted to implement, because you would have the OC and the quarterbacks coach talk about things that we want to do, and then the O-lines coach is like, yeah, I don't know that we can do that, right? I don't know that we have the personnel or the scheme in terms of the offensive line to be able to do that. So here's how we can modify it and do this, that, and the third. Or here's the running game plan that we should put in for this week. And so I agree with you in terms of the footprint that an O-line coach has on the overall offensive game plan. I agree with that a lot. And I think that he's going to be instrumental in blending, his concepts or previous concepts into what Shane Waldron wants to do, right? You don't want to completely flip the language on Darnell Wright that fast, right? You don't want to completely flip the language on Justin Fields in terms of protections if he's going to be back. You want to have a coach that has been speaking the same language to this offensive line so that you can kind of blend those things together. So now you don't just have, instead of having 6 people learning together, including the quarterback, the 5 linemen still, they know what the language is the same to them. I know we got to bring in the center, but the language is the same to them. And then you kind of blend that into what the quarterback is able to quickly digest. So I think it's critical to bring him in and maintain him. And also you have the tight end, who is just an extension of the offensive line in the run game, but also allows you to do some things in the passing game, but it's an instrumental part of, run blocking and pass pro. And so to have those two dudes, remain in place brings a great deal of stability for the returning players and are a great bridge to the new aspects of the offense that Shane is going to bring in.
Yeah, and I appreciate you taking us in the locker room and your understanding of it, because again, this is how we build our takes on this program. It's not just conjecture. I'm taking you guys into what I've done as an offensive coordinator and helping to build offenses, right? And what I did as an offensive line coach, as a tight only position I didn't coach was Q's, and that's why I got Q. That's why I got Quincy A. But I didn't coach quarterbacks. But and what you referred to, Herb, is exactly what my mentors taught me. And how you interacted with your O-line coach in that situation. You got the offensive coordinator and the quarterback coaches, or position coaches, other position coaches, like always want to do all these amazing things, right? And it always comes back to the O-line coach and how my mentor taught me. He said, "Don't bring nothing to me until you tell me how you're going to block it first, right? If you can't block it, we can't run it.
We can't do it.
We cannot do it. If you can't tell me how we're going to block it, because again, it's a numbers game. Like whether we're going to, it's a pass play, we're going 5-man. If you want this super deep route and we don't have 5 studs up front, then we can't go super deep with 5-man protection. Like it doesn't work that way. So to me, that was the first clue as to what we were doing, keeping the O-line coach and the tight end coach. And usually how that breaks out staff-wise in terms of who trains what is, your O-line coach or one of the coaches has the interior offensive lineman, and the other guy has the tight end has the tackles and tight ends, and they break them up because a lot of the steps the same. So the second clue to me was who we hired as offensive coordinator, because Simo's a Kyle Shanahan. He's with Kyle Shanahan in Washington, in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? He understands inside, outside zone, power concepts, and all that other stuff. But layering that with the mentality of the offensive coordinator, the philosophy of the offensive coordinator was going to be my second clue. If they would have brought in Cliff Kingsbury, I would have been the first one on the show talking about, hey guys, you know what I'm saying? Y'all might as well get ready to sell those number 1 jerseys, because it ain't gonna happen. But because of the guy we brought in philosophically and what he believes in, and what I know now after talking to one of the coaches, you know what I'm saying, philosophically, I feel a little bit more confident. That was the second clue. What does this guy like to do? What's his name? Not Kyle Shanahan. McVay.
Oh, okay.
So being from the McVay lineage, you know what I'm saying, likes to run split zone, mid zone, inside zone, run his counters off of that, bootlegs and waggles off of that stuff. The philosophy lends itself to where we think they're going with this thing. I'll put it out there. Like, what do you feel about that portion of the puzzle? Because I'm putting pieces together, and it's let me manage my expectations. Like, all right, bro, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can keep arguing about this. There's nothing for me to argue about.
Yeah, I think that bringing in an OC who does have the ability or the versatility at least to devise a game plan that fits Justin's skill set, right? It lends itself to the idea of him returning. Now, does that mean it doesn't fit what Caleb can do? I don't think that's true. But I think that when you look at Justin, his ability to run with the football, his ability to make plays outside of the pocket, get on the edge and make plays with his arm, um, those are things that are staples of the system that the Bears should be looking to run. And they've got the players to be able to do it in terms of DJ and Cole Kmet and Marvin Harrison Jr. No, but I think that like those are things they're going to be able to do. They get that center position solidified. I think they'll have a pretty formidable offensive line going left to right. Whether they upgrade at left tackle or not, that's up to them. I happen to still think that they love Braxton Jones and like what he's done there. Could they upgrade? Sure, maybe they could, but they like his traits, and they still think he's young and developing as a fifth-round pick from Southern Utah just 2 years ago. So we'll see, what they do in terms of that. But I think if they get that center position figured out, you got Khalil Herbert back there, you got Roshan Johnson back there. We'll see who else they plug in and running back. But they should be able to run a pretty good, zone system, and Justin's dynamic at that.
Yeah, I agree with you, especially if they're running it from under center. You know what I'm saying? Again, you're going to hear a lot about. I'm dropping clues and tea leaves. You're going to hear a lot about the mid zone versus the outside zone. Let it be known, Coach T was the first one to say it. You're going to hear a lot more about the mid zone instead of the wide zone or the outside zone, and then it's going to go from there. How about that as a clue bomb? And we're not even on the Breakfast Club. Listen. It's too easy. It's like shooting turkeys in the barrel for all the stuff we agree on. And now I've seen you on different platforms, so I already know what we disagree on. You mentioned Marvin Harrison Jr. and you lit up. And while I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably going to be a great prospect, a great NFL player, if I ask everybody this question that came on the platform, Marvin Harrison Jr. or a bunch of picks, first rounders. What are you choosing, Herb?
So you saying trade back lower than the three that you would have to get to secure Marvin Harrison Jr.
If Marvin Harrison Jr. is there, but I know still there's an opportunity for haul picks, more first rounders in future drafts, and more picks in this draft. What are you doing? You're Ryan Poles, Herb. What are you doing? You love this dude. And I've heard you say you love this dude. What are you doing, Herb?
Yeah. I'm betting the house on Shorty, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people be enamored with these prospects, and they say these things like generational talent, but then you press them on it a little bit. So you think he's going to the Hall of Fame? Oh, I didn't say that. Then what did you mean by generation? Right? If he wants in the generation, he going to the Hall. I'm telling you, I'm betting the house on Marvin Harrison Jr. going to the Hall of Fame. I think he's that good. Like, I think Rome is good. I think Neighbors is good. I wouldn't bet the crib on them going to the Hall of Fame. I think Shorty from Columbus is that good.
So here's my dilemma here's my dilemma, right? I won't push up. I wouldn't even push back. Like, I haven't done the film breakdown on Marvin Harrison Jr. yet, so I digress on the Hall of Fame stuff, right? But my concern is it's a matter of timing, right? And that kind of comes into the Hall of Fame part of it too as well, because I feel like one of the big mistakes that Detroit made is they swung early and they swung wrong in terms of making their Super Bowl run. And what I mean by that is they swung early, meaning that draft last year, everybody questioned the picks. And I felt like maybe one more draft of just making that roster solid and then swinging the Bill Belichick way and going and getting free agents, veteran free agents to make your Super Bowl run would have possibly put them in a position to beat San Francisco. Because if you think about it, who all asked up in that NFC Championship game? It was all their rookies. You know what I'm saying? The game got, San Francisco started coming back. Everybody's butthole got tight, and all the rookies played like rookies. So when I think about the whole Marvin Harrison Jr. thing is, I think the timing of when the Bears take their swing on these big name players is important. I wouldn't be mad if we got him now. Don't get me wrong, but I think we're 2 drafts away from taking a swing. I think we can take a swing this year and see where we can trade back this year and see where we are right next year, and maybe take a swing next year. But I think if you forfeit, you know what I'm saying, more Darnell Wrights and Tyreek Stevensons, then you put us in a position where we're like Detroit or San Francisco. We get there close, but no cigar.
Yeah, I mean, only one team gonna win it, man. Detroit was up a dub in the NFC Championship game on the road. They just jagged like that. Like that's a whole team thing. That's the coach tweaking. That's your quarterback tweaking. The same rookies that was messing up. Where you say they was getting tight late in the game, they was making plays early in the game. They was making plays to get you there. Jahmyr Gibbs had a pretty good postseason run. Like they had a historic collapse. They was whooping them dudes.
But you listen, you've been on those sidelines. You know how I go when Mo start coming. When Mo, you've been up,
sure.
you up 21, and Mo start creeping on your back, and you like, oh shit, bro, like, bro, we got, we gotta get a first down
on the field now.
We start playing tight,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
rookie's rookie.
I get that. And rookies gonna do that, but that's just. They're gonna do that regardless. You know what I mean? It don't matter if they're a D tackle or right guard or a wide receiver. Like rookies it's only a few that's like the moment ain't too big for a rookie. And I think going back to my premise, I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is the exception. I don't think anything is too big for him. He never looks like, oh, it's 100,000 people in here. Like he throw me the rock, Joe. On both of them, throw me the rock.
Yeah.
And got him opposite DJ Moore. You got Cole Kmet in the middle. Man, come on, give me him.
All right. You're not. I'll listen. I see your argument. You haven't fully convinced me yet. Maybe after I see the tape, I'll change my mind.
Let me flip it around to you this way then.
Okay.
What holes do the Bears need to fill so desperately that it's worth passing on this dude? Because as I see the Bears roster right now, I only see holes at free safety, 3-tech, center, edge rusher. 4 holes. In terms of starters. Now you can get as much depth. You can never have too many pass rushers, too many corners, too many receivers. You can get as much depth as you want. But as I look at this roster, only holes I see: 3-tech, edge rusher, wide receiver, center, free safety. That's it. You give me him.
That's 5 positions you just called
out. Well, I was already including that we would have Marvin Harrison.
You including? Oh, we already got Marvin. So you're saying center,
right? So there's only 4 other holes that need to be filled on this roster: free safety, center, 3-tech, and edge.
So this is what I'm concerned about. And they might be there. I'm not concerned about the first wave of pass rushers, interior defensive linemen, and edge rushers. I'm concerned about the second wave, right? That's my point on that. Like I'm concerned about just not having a roster. I'm concerned about the depth because it's 18 weeks. Somebody's going down.
Yeah.
So free safety, I'm with you on that. And the interior defensive line is, I think we're a little bit more. We're a little bit too loose with tackle. I like Braxton Jones. I appreciate his trajectory and the fact that he's trending up. But it boils down to me this, and I ask the question this way: is it a question mark or an exclamation mark? If it's not an exclamation mark, it's a question mark. So to me, that's a little bit question marky. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair. I think you could upgrade there. I agree.
But also
it's a need, but you could upgrade.
So to flip it on myself, I'll say this: you and this is why one more trade back works. It works for me. It's the players. If we get a DJ S. Hall, it's the established stars that come along with that, right? So say we get to 2, right? And we get a established stud, and then we get the 2, and we get to do it again. All that to me puts us as a perennial playoff. I'm trying to run the North. I'm not trying to visit, you know what I'm saying, grab some chips and some dips and dip out. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to marry the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to slide for one night stand, hit it and quit it. I'm trying to be camped out with that mug. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to put a ring on it.
That sounds good. We only seen that 3 times in our lifetime. The Cowboys camped out, the Patriots camped out, and now the Chiefs is camping out. Everybody else be in and out that thing. It's too hard to do. So
But we
like
got
everybody like,
Ryan
oh,
Poles.
we gotta.
We got Ryan Poles. He came from Kansas City. Why not camp out? That's what I'm saying.
That listen, I'm not anti 3 Super Bowls in 5 years. I'm not opposed to that. I'm saying if they get one in the next 2 or 3 years, like we're gonna be like, oh my God, we finally got one since '85. We can finally stop talking about only the '85 Bears. They'll always be mentioned they should be, but we can finally talk about a more a current team, more recent team. And so yeah, like I think they can win the Super Bowl in 2025. I think they keep Justin Fields. They draft Marvin Harrison Jr. I think the Bears can win the Super Bowl in 2025. They should be a playoff team in 2024.
That's
But I think
next
they can
year.
win the Super Bowl in
That's next
25.
That's
I know.
next
That's
year.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying to you.
I mean, I wish I had a flag. I throw a flag on a play. I feel like we can make a.
You don't think they can win the Super Bowl next year?
Nah, bro. I feel like we can make a deep playoff run. I feel like we can make a deep playoff run. My worst fear is that we do what Detroit does. Detroit made they run, but I'm telling you right now, Detroit has to figure out. And if Ben didn't come back, they would be in hell of a compromised position. They got to figure out what to do with that roster.
It is not my worst fear for the Bears to be up 20 in the NFC Championship game next year. That is not my worst fear.
Well, I'm not talking about wet the bed in the game. I'm talking about to get there, swing too early, where after that the contracts on the book start getting messy. They start getting inflated, and we having to start figuring out what player to move here and there. Like while Ryan Poles and shout out to you, by the way, because you jumped straight into, saying the building of the roster and Ryan Poles for me anyway. And Hurt flipped it on me. Why Ryan has these books clean, has the contracts clean, and has everything the way he wanted before he has to start paying this guy here, paying this guy, and deciding whether to extend. I feel like the timing of it is important for at least this first one to swing. I said 26. You said 25. I said 26. Draft, pull back or trade down this year, get the picks, get us multiple firsts moving forward, 25, 26 first rounders, and we take our swing in 26. We're going to Super Bowl in 26. I'm buying my ticket already. 10 racks. Maybe put it on the credit.
In 26, you got to give Justin 40, 50 million. Like
40, 50 mil to go to the bowl is worth it.
No, it's cool. I'm not even one of these people that be like, we got to reset the rookie contract because of this, that, and the third. It costs what it costs. It is what it is. You want to do this or not? It costs what it costs. People be counting McCaskey's money like they ain't got it. They good, right? They good. And they can always figure out ways around the salary cap with restructures and signing bonuses and all this. They good. Like I believe in Ryan Poles too. I believe in his ability to navigate when he has plenty of cap space. I will also believe in his ability to navigate when it gets limited. He has to get a little bit more savvy in how he maneuvers through these contracts. So I think he'll be fine. Look, I mean, the Chiefs, they hit that problem, right? They won a Super Bowl, and then they had to pay Patrick Mahomes, and then they're like, okay, can we give Tyreek $70 million? No, we can't do that. Then they had to play hardball with Chris Jones. They had to see a lot of their pieces walk out the door, and they didn't run it back to back. Like you can do it.
Herb said it'll work either way. You just put.
Yeah, I mean, if you believe in him, believe in him. I don't believe in him just because he has the first overall pick and a lot of cap space. I believe in him because I think he's smart and savvy, and I think he'll put them in position to be successful. Whether he's got $100 million open space or he's down to his last 20.
So just so y'all know, so I didn't want people to think this was a hand-holding session, that we have something we disagree on. And I still got to get back to the Marvin Harrison Jr. film. And that's probably going to happen in a few weeks as we get closer to the draft, as I get to the wide receivers and breaking them out. But you already, listen, just like this man's reading off my sheet, you already broke off into the Justin conversations. So we might as well, right? Obviously, we're two Justin supporters, but let's go to the other side of it. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about Caleb. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is your real outlook on Caleb? You know what I'm saying? In terms of obviously the generational stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, what have you seen from your perspective that who is Caleb? Who is Caleb as a player right now? Like, what's the ceiling and floor conversation? Let's start. Let's do it like that.
Yeah, I think he's immensely talented. Like, I think he is a really, really good quarterback prospect coming out. Now, this can't miss thing that we like. I've only said that 3 times in my adult life about quarterback prospects, or not even in my adult life. I think I was like 13 when Peyton Manning came out. Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, and Deshaun Watson. Those are the only 3 quarterbacks that have ever come out during my time of covering and watching football closely that I thought were can't miss quarterback prospects. The Colts got 2 of those dudes, right? The Colts hit that lottery twice and got 2 of them. It netted them 1 Super Bowl in 20 years. So I want the absolute best for Caleb Williams, right? This idea that he can't miss, he's the next Patrick Mahomes is crazy, right? All these people talking about he's the next Patrick Mahomes. You didn't know that Patrick Mahomes was the first Patrick Mahomes. Like, it's nuts. Like, yeah, these are the same people. Shout out to Lawrence Holmes again. He went back and saw how all of these draft experts, and I respect their work, right? Mel Kiper, Bucky Brooks, Todd McShay, all of them, how they ranked the 2017 quarterback class. And the composite number 1 was Deshaun Kaiser, right? Based on all of their lists. I don't even know what that man does right now. Shout out to him. I hope he's well. Hope his family's well. I don't know what Deshaun Kaiser's doing right now. You know what I'm saying? But my point is, it wasn't Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? So, like, this idea that that this dude is Patrick Mahomes when you didn't know Patrick Mahomes was Patrick Mahomes is kind of crazy to me. But whatever. So I think that Caleb Williams can be phenomenal. And for the sake of argument, every time I've gone on shows and talked to people who are pro Caleb and say we got to move on from Justin, whether that's talking to Danny Parkins or talking to Adam Hogue, like, for the sake of argument, I've granted them that okay, he's better than Justin. Cool. I still don't think that's the best move for the Bears to get to the Super Bowl. I don't think that's the fastest route for them to do it, right? And so that's my thing with him. It's not that I don't think he can reach his potential. I hope he does. I want nothing but the best for that kid. I just don't think it's the Bears' best move to go in that direction.
Yeah, I need to do a Soldier Boy on this situation right here real fast. How Soldier Boy first invented the internet or whatever he claims he did on this tape, man, because I felt like I put my take out when I did my film study on Caleb Williams, and you know what I'm saying, for whatever reason, like, it's coming out now like it's news, right? And everybody talking about plan and structure. And my biggest concern after doing the film breakdown was the amount of RPOs that that Lincoln Riley call with Caleb in that offense and how it translates to the NFL. You can say, listen, it's going to translate. Matter of fact, unprompted. Well, I asked the question to Quincy, and he almost quoted my take verbatim. At about a 70-75% clip, his passes are RPOs. It's 1 and 2 reads, and the ball is gone. When the ball is not gone in those 1 and 2 reads, that's where you get the highlight plays, because it's 1, 2 reads and go make a play. That's not full field progression NFL reads. By comparison, and I asked this question to Brendan Rice while I was down at the Senior Bowl. Go check out that interview. And stumped him with the question. I said, well, how do you compare Caleb to Jaden Daniels, who I think is the best, most NFL-ready quarterback in this draft, and that narrative is starting to, raise its way up. I think we're going to hear more about it as we come to the draft. Jaden Daniels,
he's climbing up the board, don't he?
Yeah, 90% of his dropbacks are NFL full progression reads, 90%, and he won the Heisman in the SEC playing in an NFL offense. The last time we seen somebody do this, it's one guy by the name of Joe Burrow who came into the league and lit it up, right? And how people have just been passing over Jaden Daniels, who's actually running the NFL offense, won the Heisman doing it and being successful, I don't know. So the high RPO thing is not a disqualifier, but what it brings to question is now I have to bring in a development timetable in to bring him up to speed into making those reads and progression. So to me, that doesn't translate as generational. Generational to me is Joe Burrow, like you said, Andrew Luck. Day one, this guy is coming out, and you see it. You see it on the field. You see it on film. Not a guy that needs to sit a year or 2 or 3. And I'm not saying he can't get to Patrick Mahomes. The other part of that is, okay, you take a Cliff Kingsbury, Lincoln Riley. I forget the coach out of Washington who actually, Mike something, who started that whole coaching tree philosophy. You take those guys out of that. You take the guys out of there. You take the Jalen Hurts. You take the Kyler Murrays. You take the Baker Mayfields. All of those guys came out of that. And Patrick Mahomes. And you have to be fair and say, yeah, he could be Patrick, but he also could be Kyler Murray. Same philosophy, same system, same pedigree, right? So this is logic to me. It's football. It's schematics. You can't dismiss it and just jump over it. This is what you've done, right? So if I've been, I don't know what a good analogy is, right? So if I've been riding dirt bikes, my whole college career, and I decide I'm going to skip over and go to, a crotch rocket, it's different. I can't sit there and say, oh, yeah, that translates. It's the same thing that Q said in my interview with him that, hey, man, like, I can't evaluate him on film because there's very few NFL progressions. Now, when he did it, he was pretty decent at it. Now, there's some criticism of passing up on nickels to make big plays and make dimes in that, but I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Okay, the 20-25% that's left, you did a pretty good job of it, but it's not a good enough sample size for me to say generational. Let's bet the franchise on this dude and bring him in. Now, wanting the best thing for Caleb is also part of my take is saying this. Match him with Cliff and let that dude have a great career. I want the best for the player, not selfishly saying. Now, if Cliff came to Chicago, I'd be saying, let's do it. Let's run it. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be on the opposite side. Everybody be throwing tomatoes at me. Coach T crazy, this, that, and the other. But, it is what it is. I want the best for the kid. I think the NFL does a terrible job of matching these players with good systems, and they make the best thing for the shield. So, I don't know. That's just my take on it. I've been consistent riding with it. It is what it is. You already spoke about Justin, how you feel about Justin. We don't have to get into that. And you've already talked about positions of need, man. So I'm going to put a little pressure on you. I didn't give you a whole lot of time, Herb, to think about this. I should have led and gave you time in. But guess what? All the guests that come on the show got to give out the drunk uncle. It's part of our shit. Yeah. So I'm gonna do the DM section, real section. We'll go through, catch a few comments from the DM section. While I do that, you think about who you want to give a drunk uncle award to, and it can't be me, by the way. We do it like that, and then we'll come back. Let's go. Slide to the DMs. Let's go.
Did you get like some crazy DMs or what?
Very.
Surprises or no?
You're talking like blue check marks?
Yeah, like
people who be sliding, and I'm like, wow, y'all fuck with me like that.
What's going on, man? It's Coach T with Chicago Bears 360. Back with Herb Howard of the Bigs, my guy. Herb, I don't know, man. I just commandeered you, bro, as a mentor in this game. I appreciate you, man, for hanging out with us. Let's see what y'all talking about.
Happy to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
I want to see some questions, man. We got some new faces in here. Pose was getting more calls on JF1 than the #1 pick, and why Kevin Warren had to correct the QB market. I don't know, man. I don't know. Where the questions at? Mike Leach. Shout out to 10 Bears. Mike Leach, Lincoln Riley, Cliff Kingsbury, Air Raid, RPO stuff. Mike Leach is on. Mike Leach, RIP, rest in peace. Mike Leach. I like when Mike Leach brought all that stuff to it because Mike Leach said, I'm giving defensive coordinators hell. They can't try to figure out what to do with it. Let me see if we got some questions in here. If the Bears are hey, some people agreeing with us. Mr. Mayhem said if the Bears wanted Caleb so bad they would hire Cliff Kingsbury. I agree. I think Cliff Kingsbury is the perfect matchup for him. Obviously, he coached him there. I want to see some opposing opinions. I want some smoke. Where we got it? Gucci, real. Yeah. Let's see. Somebody said Mike Gundy. All right, Herb. I'm putting you on the spot, man. It's drunk uncle time. It could be anybody. It could be. I got somebody in mind based off a take I saw today. I might have to give out a second drunk uncle award today, just to slide this in. But Herb, man, let me do the lead in first, because we trying to be professional over there. But and plus, I want y'all to hear Young Junior Max music, man. My son be putting it on. G Don't Crash on YouTube and Instagram. By the way, we're working with Nicki Minaj's producer now, bro. We've been putting out some fire lately. Anyway, Drunk Uncle segment coming up. Let's go.
Anything is possible, got feelings in my cup. I see everything in double, got 2 blunts, I'm rolling up. I've been walking in a circle, no expression, now I'm stuck. 34 decline, cough like Giannis chasing bucks. Anything is possible, got feelings in my cup. I see everything.
Bro, y'all got feelings in y'all cup. Y'all going crazy on the internet. Everybody in their feelings about Justin Fields. Caleb Williams, what are we going to do? Oh, my God, the franchise going to fall apart if we draft Caleb Williams or Justin Fields, bro. Like, I really believe y'all didn't spend a lot more time on Twitter than y'all spent with y'all loved one yesterday, and it was Valentine's Day. Bro, y'all gotta ease up. Herb Howard, man, who you giving the drunk Uncle Roy to, bro? Hopefully it's the guy I got in mind.
So I don't have one particular person in mind, man, but I just like this contingent of people who feel like if I support Caleb Williams, then I must hate Justin Fields. And vice versa. If I support Justin Fields, then I must hate Caleb Williams. That's not true, man. It don't have to be like that, right? You can be very much pro Justin Fields and still be like, I want nothing but the best for Caleb Williams, and I think he's going to be a good player in the National Football League. Or you can be like, nah, I think he's too good of a prospect to pass up on. We got to take Caleb Williams. And I still think Justin can be successful in this league, and I wish him nothing but the best wherever he lands. People make it this whole civil war thing where it's so divisive, and then you start doing stuff that you would not ordinarily do. You start saying things to people behind your keyboard that you would never say to people's face. Like that's that drunk shit for real. Like you get liquored up and then you get tough, but when you behind the keyboard, it's easy to just be tough behind the keyboard. You don't even need to be liquored up. You just drunk uncle because you behind a keyboard, and now you talking to people idiots and stupid and you're dumb and you would not walk up to me anywhere, and be like, Herb, you an idiot, you dumb. You wouldn't do that to me. Like you like knock it off. But behind the keyboard, you drunk uncle as hell. So
we got
all
a lot
of y'all.
we got a lot of drunk uncles behind keyboards. And that's on bro. That's on everything I love, man. Like y'all gotta calm down, man. The biggest
that's that keyboard courage, man. You got liquid courage. That's keyboard courage, right?
Keyboard courage, just like liquor courage, right? The probably the low point for me throughout this whole ordeal, and I know we got about 2 months to go, so I'm not even hedging bets that this will remain the low point. But the low point was when I logged on and I have my work laptop right here by me, and I have my MacBook in my setup here. It's always like this. And I logged on to work, and then I logged on to my MacBook, which I keep my Twitter up, and I saw the whole light skin or lighter debate. And dude, that went at you about that one, man. I wish I had your Twitter handle because I would definitely hand you my version of the drunk Uncle Award. You get it today for Howard for you because he probably gonna be a little bit.
100% you get it.
You get to hold the award. So if somebody knows his hashtag or whatever, at him so he know he got the drunk uncle award because that whole light skin or lighter debate, that was probably the most idiotic, dumb thing I've seen in this whole exchange. And this toxic is like, bro, we got enough issues in the community. We don't need that, bro. And here's this thing. Here's the ATL Southern part of me gonna come out, bro. In the community, listen, black folks, if you don't know this, white folks, I'm finna let y'all in on some blackisms, right? A black mama would tell you, you don't do certain things in front of company. It's certain conversations you don't have in front of company, right? Even if you thought that, right? Light skin versus lighter, or it was a dark skin versus light skin thing. We don't have those conversations in front of company, right? You say that behind closed doors. So yeah, you definitely get a drunk uncle award for that one. I'm gonna hold this other one that I got in my chamber for the next show, but for drunk uncle award. But shout out to you, Howard. I got one more question for you before we get out of here. Is it lion season, bro? For real? Like, is it smoke screen lion season for real? Because I'm gonna tell you why I asked that question. If I was, this is a conflict. If I was if I held Bears press credentials right now, right? And I'm a Bears fan, or say I was a Bears fan and I held credentials. If I was a true Bears fan, would I jump if it was lion season? And I wanted the best for the Bears, would I jump on board with the Bears and their smoke screen because I wanted the best for the Bears? Or would I be putting my flag in the ground for what I think is right? Oh, I really believe we're keeping Justin, so I'm tweeting every day, we're keeping Justin. Or would I say, listen, I want to short the stock. I want to short the stock. You remember a GameStop technique that they did a few years ago where they robbed the stock market? If we want to, if Bears, I'm putting this out to Bears fans, right? So quit the whole Caleb versus Justin debate stuff. For those that support in Justin Fields, if you really, matter of fact, I just had a great idea, Kurt. Light bulb moment. This is what I'm gonna do. Starting on April 1st, and if you want to do it earlier, it's all up to you. I feel like we can pull up a GameStop move with this whole pick situation. Post opposite of what you think. April Fool's forward. Post opposite of what you think or who you want, and we run the price up for Caleb. And the hashtag the Commanders HTC, whatever HTTC. Let's short the stock on Caleb and help the Bears out by running up the price on Caleb so we get more. If you're a true Bears fans, if you think strategically, that's what you should be doing, not arguing with other Bears fans. So I have to put that out there. Are we lying or not, bro?
Yeah, this is definitely lion season for sure. But I think for me, like that's Ryan Poe's job, man. He don't need my help with it. He don't need my help with that, man. Like they gonna put out all of the smoke they need to put out. They gonna have all the fillers they need to put out. At the end of the day, they're gonna make the decision. So for me, I just gave my opinion on what I think would be the best path forward for the Bears, and to me, that's to keep Justin Fields and build around him. I probably won't go back and forth with nobody on it no more. Except for one thing that I mentioned that we might be working on soon. But that's right. All these teams lying right now. They all lying. Until the draft, they're all lying. And I always love the pre-draft press conference because that's always interesting because they're not really telling you nothing and you're trying to find a crafty way to ask a question that might get you some insight onto something. But man, at the end of the day, they're lying right now. They devising their own game plan, and they're gonna try to do the best they can to hide it until they got to expose their hand. And so I think that's the way to play it. I think that's what Ryan Poles is gonna do. And this is 100%, 100% lying season.
I think Edgar Allan Poe said it best. You know what I'm saying? Believe half of what you see, believe nothing what you see, and half of what you hear. That's the stand. I still think we should do opposite season, right? If you really support Justin Fields, then you should tweet in support of Caleb Williams to run. Make the Commanders think that we want to take Caleb Williams, that Bears fans want Caleb Williams only to run the price up. Short the stock. We're pulling the GameStop move. I feel like that would be so genius of Bears fans. That's just me. That's how I think all the time. I'm always playing chess in my head. Anyway, man, listen, Herb, I've taken up enough of your time.
Send us they second round pick this year, they first round pick next year, and Deron Payne or Jonathan Allen to play our 3 technique, and we can talk about it.
I want the firstborn. I want the Washington Monument. I want, you know what I'm saying? What else they got? I want go-go music. You know what I'm saying? I want go-go music. I want the
go-go music. You want mumbo sauce?
I want mumbo sauce. I want the Potomac River. I want all that. Throw it all that in there. I want the fact that y'all can't pronounce words that start that have OU in it. Like they jack those words up in DC, DMV. It's the house and the mouse. Yeah, if you ever spend any time in DC, Virginia area, they just Chicago got some stuff too, bro. Y'all, we be jacking some stuff up too, and we doing the ATL.
Yeah, we country north, you know.
Country north. That's it. That's that Mississippi DNA in y'all. Anyway, Herb, I've taken up enough of your time, man. I appreciate you coming on the program, man. As always, we can't let it go this far, but I gotta get you like on the 6-month schedule or something. So it's just always good vibes when you hang out with us, man. So audience, 360 years. I hope y'all got some good, content out of this. You learned something. If you're thinking about going down this path, Herb dropped a lot of good nuggets for you. Take that and run with it. And you know what I'm saying? Carve out a niche for yourself. But for now, until next time, man, I'm your boy Coach T with Chicago Bears 360. And I got to get back to my original saying, man. Past, present, and future, man. We bear down. I'll talk to y'all next time. Peace.